Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, today we're going to continue our lesson, which is 6.2 system of linear inequalities involving two variables. Okay, now we're going to look what is learning standard that involving in our lesson today, which is 6.2.4 solve problems involving system of linear inequalities in two variables. Okay, we will cover this for today's lesson. Okay, now we just jump into let's do some example. Okay, I will show you two example only for today's lesson. One example is that for three linear inequalities for the shaded region. Then the second example is for the HOTS question, high order decay scale. Okay, next we just take a look for the example one. Write three that linear inequalities that satisfy the shaded region. Okay, before we already learned how to determine the three linear inequalities, but in this graph there is no equations given. So we need to determine what is the equation that's involved in this graph. So how we determine the equation, we take a look one by one. Okay, this line is for the first equation, and this line, okay, for the second equation, and this one is for the third equation. Now we take a look for the first equation, which is this line. Okay, this line is parallel to the x-axis. We know that x-axis is y equal to 0, but it's only lies on this x-axis when y equal to 0. But this line is cut through this point, okay, point 5. So the first equation will be, okay, the straight line is parallel to the x-axis, so y equal to 5. Okay, that is for the first equation. Now we take a look for the second equation. Okay, so for the second equation, we need to find the gradient. Okay, you remember what is gradient? Okay, we need to find the slope for this straight line. Okay, now, okay, y equal to mx plus c. This is the basic form of equation that involving two variables, which is y and x. First, we must find the gradient. Okay, the gradient is m. This one is the gradient. This is the formula for gradient: y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay, our x1, y2 will be 0, 0 is the origin. Okay, this will be our x1 and y1. Okay, our x2, y2 is this point, 5, 5. Okay, this is x2 and y2. Okay, then we insert the value of this point into the formula, which is y2 minus y1. Okay, 5 minus 0, and then x2 minus x1, 5 minus 0. And then you solve this, you will get 1. Okay, now you already found for the gradient. Now we determine the y-intercept, which is c. Okay, c is the y-intercept. Okay, what this mean by y-intercept? Okay, from this line, we need to see where it is intercept at the y-axis. Okay, it is intercept at the origin. Okay, at this y-axis. Okay, it's intercept at this origin, which is 0. Okay, that's why the y-intercept c is equal to 0, because it intercept at this 0. Y equal to 0. So then we can insert all this value inside this formula. Then I will get y equal to x. Because m is equal to 1, okay, we can make it disappear and plus with 0. Okay, plus with 0, and then we can make it disappear also. So it's left by y equal to x. Okay, this is our second equation. Now for the third equation, our third equation is the y-axis, okay, along the y-axis. So as we know, the straight line is the y-axis, thus x equal to 0. X equal to 0 is lie on the y-axis. So we need to determine the linear inequalities. Okay, what we found is just equation. Okay, I will show you the answer first. Okay, this is the three of the linear inequalities for this example. Okay, for the first equation, y lower than or equal to 5 because it's at the below of this straight line. So it must be below than or equal to 5. And then for the second equation, we must determine what sign the inequality sign is. We take a look for the straight line. Okay, the straight line, the shaded area is at the top, okay, at the above region. So it must be using higher than or equal. Okay. Okay, and then for the third equation, which is x equal to 0. Okay, this one, because the shaded area is at the right side. Okay, so we must using inequality sign higher than or equal. So the third linear inequality is x higher than or equal to 0. This is how you determine the linear inequalities with this type of equation. Okay, for the next example, okay, this is the hot question. Okay, I will read. Madam Carol needs to select at most 20 people for a choir competition. At most. So the inequality signs involved in this is must be lower than or equal. And then the number of girls is at least twice the number of boys. Okay, at least. At least. So the inequality signs that involve is higher than or equal. And then for the A, write two linear inequalities other than x higher than or equal 0 and y higher than or equal 0, which represent the condition of the selection of the competitors. And B, draw and shade the region that satisfy the above system of linear inequalities. Okay, C, from the graph. Okay, first, determine the minimum and maximum number of girls when the number of boys is 5. And then the second one is determine whether the condition of the selection adhere to if boys want to participate in the choir competition. Okay, then you justify your answer. First, I'm going to show you for the A part. Okay, it said that you must write two linear inequalities. So from this statement, we can get two linear inequalities. Okay, the first one is this one. Madam Carol needs to select at most 20 pupils for a choir. Okay, this is the first one. And then we need to determine what is the variable. Okay, so the main focus in our this example is the number of girls and the number of boys. So we must justify let x equal to number of girls and y equal to number of boys. Okay, and then the first statement said that select at most 20 pupils. At most. Okay, at most. So it's meant by maximum 20. Paling banyak 20. Okay, dia tak boleh lebih 20. That is mean by at most 20. So the equation is the linear inequalities is x plus y lower than or equal 20. Okay, this is the first linear inequalities. For the second linear inequalities is this part. The number of girls is at least twice the number of boys. So the linear inequalities is x higher than or equal to 2y. Okay, this is from the statement. But if we want to draw the graph, y must be at the left side, okay, and x must be at the right side. So we convert these linear inequalities into a proper linear inequalities to draw the graph like this, okay. 2y lower than or equal to x. You just need to invert this. If you change the position of 2y and x, okay, the symbol also need to change. Okay, these are the two linear inequalities for A part. And then B, okay, B, we must draw and shade the region that satisfy the above system of linear inequalities. Okay, first we must draw a table of values. Okay, I'm sure that you guys already know how to draw this table of values as I have teach you many times before. Okay, I will not repeat it again. Okay, this one is for the first linear inequalities. So we convert into this equation x plus y equal to 20. And then we determine the table of value. If x equal to 0, then y equal to 30. Okay, and then if x is equal to 20, then y equal to 0. Okay, this is for the first equation. And then for the second equation, okay, as I said just right now, we must use 2y lower than x, this one. And then we must find the table of value. Okay, when x equal to 0, y is equal to 0. And then when x is equal to 20, y also equal to 20. After we get this table of value, we draw a graph. Okay, this graph is I got from your textbook. Okay, for the first equation is this line. Okay, first we're gonna plot the point. Okay, so for the first point is 0, 20. So the point is here. And then the second point is 20, 0. So the point is at here. After you plot these 2 points, you can draw the straight line. Okay? And then for the second equation is 2y equal to x. So the first point is 0, 0 at the origin at here. And then the second point is 20, 10. 20, okay, 20, okay, 9, okay, this one. 10 at here. After you plot these 2 points, then you draw a straight line. And then you label the equation just like this. Okay? After you draw the line, okay, then you must shade the region. Okay, 2y, okay, for the first equation, x plus y equal to 20, it is said that lower than, okay, lower than, so it must be this region, okay, and then the second linear inequalities is 2y lower than x, so lower than is a below region also at here, so that's why it's shade at here. Okay, just because the condition from here, from A, x higher than or equal to 0, so it must be above x-axis. Okay, okay, now done for the B part. Okay, now we move on to the C. From the graph, okay, first determine the minimum and maximum number of girls when the number of boys is 5. Okay, just now we have made justification, which is x is number of girls and y number of boys. So from this graph, x-axis is the number of girls and y-axis is number of boys. So y equal to 5 boys, and then from this y-axis we check for when y is equal to 5 is this part. Okay, this one is y equal to 5. Okay, and then you draw a line until it intercept the straight line that we have draw. Okay, first intercept at here, and then we go down, go down, and then we check. Okay, then we get x equal to 10. Okay, it's not done yet, and then we go again to the right, go, and then you intercept at the second intersection. Okay, the second intersection. So the point is we will get x is equal to 15. So x equal to 10 girls is the minimum. Okay, x equal to 15 girls is the maximum. So when the number of boys is 5, the number of the number of minimums girl is 10, and the number of maximum of girl is 50. This is how you solve this kind of question. Okay, for C1 done. Now we check for the C2. Okay, determine whether the condition of the selection are adhered to if 8 boys want to participate in the choir competition. 8 boys. Okay, from this graph we check. Okay, from the y-axis, where is the y equal to 8? Okay, it is around here. Okay, y equal to 8. Okay, y equal to 8 is around here, and then we draw line until it touch the this straight line, and then we draw again. Okay, now we see, is it this straight line is touch the shaded part? No, this line, when y equal to 8, this line that we have draw is not touch the shaded area. So we can say that no, because the value of y equal to 8 is outside the shaded region. Okay, so the participant, for the boys participant to join the choir competition, okay, cannot be 8. Okay, now done for example 2. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, we already reached at the end of the lesson. So the task for today, okay, as usual, you need to vote in the Telegram. Okay, you need to vote your knowledge level, and then okay, the second task is do exercise in activity modules page 87 and 88. Okay, if you have any question, just ask me. Okay, just PM me anytime. Okay, as long as it's not past at midnight. Okay, before 11 p.m. I will try my best to answer your question. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining my class, and see you in the next class. Bye.